Hey guys, story time. So I have no makeup on, so I looked a little ghosty right now, but that's okay. Just like gone outside and whatnot. We just got back from the park, doing some running, whatnot. So she's a little tired. Chihuahua's up there. The cat's stalking. You can't see her. Okay, as an ambulance goes by. Right, so, or fire truck and ambulance, okay. So, I was taking her for a walk a couple days ago. I figure I'd give everybody a rundown of what's going on. And another fire truck. Must be a big one. Okay, well, anyways, I walk her to the downtown area simply because she needs all the exercise. I like to go right after work. My work is actually in the front of my house. I have a store in the front of my house, and that's where I work. So I take her downtown after I close. We go for a walk. She gets exposure to people, to sounds, to different people in and out of bars, restaurants, lots of traffic, these little scooter things that everybody rents, and they just go around and circle around and round and round. So now we also, because we live so close to the Gulf of Mexico, we also have quite a bit of large homeless population. Not saying homeless people are bad. Some people don't like being inside. Some people are by choice. However, this particular person that I'm speaking about obviously was either on drugs or had mental problems or both. So I was walking Haitta downtown, and I had my AirPods in because I like to listen to music and podcasts and whatnot, because I walk her for at least an hour, so it just gives me some time to think and reflect as she's getting her exercise. So she's pretty good on her walks for the most part. Most of the time I also bring him, but this was a particularly cold evening. Now she doesn't care too much about the cold, it doesn't bother her, but my Chihuahua on the other hand, he does not, so he did not come. He's the one a little bit more aware of his surroundings at the moment, because she still is a puppy. She still likes to play. She gets distracted, that kind of thing. So besides the point, I was not warned ahead of time. All of a sudden I hear, ma'am, is that a German Shepherd? Is that a German Shepherd? Well, we all know that Malinois don't like to be called German Shepherds. They just don't do it. Okay, so I'm ignoring her because when I side glanced over, she was obviously having issues. Acted like she was on some type of accelerant, either meth, heroin, something of that nature that makes you extremely edgy and what's the word I'm looking for? Nervous, twitchy. Probably twitchy would be the best way to describe her. And well, she comes across the street. She actually runs across the street, leaves her 2 shopping carts full of stuff, and goes, "They stole my German Shepherds! They stole my German Shepherds!" Well, okay, so luckily we are in a densely populated area. There was other people, there were some joggers, some people in a restaurant, that kind of thing. So I was like, oh, that sounds terrible, and I kept walking. So at this point, I had my AirPods on pause, but I didn't take them out because I didn't want people to think that I could actually hear them. I was hoping that I would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, and keep walking. Well, she proceeded to reach down for Haitta and unhook her leash from her collar. Well, Ms. Haitta was not having that. She's She's not necessarily shy, but she does have a tendency to ignore people, and she does not really like being reached for. Even when friends come over to the house and whatnot, she does bark at them for a few minutes. She'll go lay down, but I'm trying to train her properly, so when I tell her to be quiet, I want her to be quiet, but at this moment she's still kind of learning that not all people can be trusted or be run up to. So I train her actually to avoid most people, not to come to people unless she knows them, like my mom, my husband, that kind of thing, because I don't want anybody feeding her something like poison. There's a lot of people in towns or bigger cities that like to hurt your dog or leave things out there just for them to swallow and get hurt. Again, sitting on the floor might not be the wisest thing to do, but we're gonna do it. So anyways, she goes to reach for Haitta and unhooks her leash from her collar. And Haitta turns around and bites this woman. And I'm not talking like this playful, nippy thing that she's doing to me right now that she shouldn't be. I'm talking a full-on hair standing up, big bite, and release. And she comes and she runs over back to my side and sits in her heel position, or foos rather. And not only am I impressed because this lady had her unhooked, but she didn't dart off into traffic. She didn't get scared, she didn't run, nothing. She came right to my side, which I am super pleased about. Now, at this moment in time, I hook her back up. And I'm kind of a little upset and yelling at this point. This is not your German Shepherd. She's a Belgian Malinois. So as I was saying, store in the front, so I had customers, so. Now I think the last thing I said was she ran up saying, that's my that's my German Shepherd, and I had to explain that it was a Malinois. She then proceeded to tell me that these people were stealing her German Shepherds. Mind you, I didn't see any dogs, anything with her. It was just weird. Now, the lady was very distinct. She was very thin. I recognized, her face. I would recognize it anywhere because I did get a good look, and she was like here to here, no mask, because we're walking outside, and she was just very distinct. Not only that, she had dark hair and a shaved head. So it's something I'm not going to forget. And as I proceeded to move forward, with Haitta after getting her on the leash, this lady kept kind of following me a little bit. Now, I'm into a routine at a certain time, so I run into people that I recognize. Not that I know them personally, I never stop and talk to them, but like this girl, she's really tall, thin, and blonde, and she's a runner, and I see her every day, and we pass almost at the same spot because it seems like our schedules are helter-skelter. And she looked at me knowingly, and she even had headphones on. I looked at her, and this girl turned around and started chasing the blonde. She used some kind of name like Taylor. Taylor's gonna you. Taylor's gonna you. And I have no idea why. She just started freaking out. Well, I stopped and I turned around. Normally I would just keep going if somebody's acting a certain way or whatever. But I didn't want this person attacked without a witness or attacked in general. And so as this girl deviated from one side to the next, I finally just left and kept walking. I didn't see her again. I didn't see her again for actually a few days. I didn't see her in the area. Normally I do, but at this point I did not. And well, I didn't see her again yet. couple weeks later, and all of a sudden I see this person walking down the street. I'm in my store. My store has a big glass front, so I can see everything that's going on, but they can't always see in because there's window tint. It's like a glass window tint, and on the outside it's reflective. If you've ever been to Florida, some of the hotter states, you'll see that we have like mirror things that go push everything out so that we don't get, she's kicking the table, so that we don't basically fry and waste our air conditioning. Well, as I'm looking and my neighbor's over here looking at some stuff, she has her dog with her. It's like a whippet mix of some kind. And super sweet dog, super shy. Well, Haitta is behind the counter where she normally is, and there's a gate between her and the outside customers, and it also keeps customers from coming behind my my countertops. So it's just a thing that needs to be there. Like if you go to a jewelry store, the big counter goes all the way across, and then there's a door, and you have to be able to know how it opens in order to get back there. So needless to say, I see this girl, none other than the same one with the black hair and the shaved head, the shaved black hair, and she has 2 shopping carts with her again, full of stuff. Now, she automatically starts pulling up into my drive with her stuff. Not only that, she has a animal cage on top of a huge hoarded mess, and she's definitely freaking out on something. And I don't want to assume anything because I haven't seen her do it, but she was definitely, there's something going on, either mentally or with chemical induction. So she comes in to the store, and as I'm looking, I see this cage, and there is a cat in it, like a little black and white cat, and it's frantically trying to get out. It's frantically searching for something. No, 9 bison. And she's frantically searching. This kitten is frantically searching, or this cat rather, is frantically searching for something. And as the girl walks in, she's holding a kitten, not old enough to be away from its mother, shouldn't have been away from its mother at all. Ears were closed, eyes were closed, and it was even too little to cry. The mouth was just kind of mouthing because it was just probably either a day old or a couple hours old. Well, she comes in and she's trying to act like it is a witch's familiar. She said, "This is my familiar. This is blah, 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 blah." And my neighbor and I just kind of looked at each other. So they're going to decide to play. As I'm talking, they're going to decide to play today. Okay. So this girl does not recognize me at all. Now this girl does not recognize me at all. Look, I got your puzzle. So this girl does not recognize me at all, and she does not recognize Haitta, because Haitta has gained like 20 pounds since the last time this girl saw her. She automatically assumes again that she's a German Shepherd. Starts talking about, they stole my German Shepherds again. I saw one of my German Shepherds walking down the street. I know it was mine. She didn't recognize me or her, so she didn't know that it was actually me that she was talking about. And Haitta is definitely not a German Shepherd. So I don't know what this girl's up to or what her deal is. All I know is I hope that that little cat and her kitten made it. I hate to talk like that, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some type of neglect, or this girl is just kind of nutso to the point where she may even forget about the cat in the cage, and I need to be morbid. Try and eat that rubber band. Come here. Look at that. Look at all those goodies. Look at all those goodies. Yeah, her puzzle box. And if the cat was old enough to breed, she should have had a license. If not, she goes to the shelter, and I don't believe we have a kill shelter here, so the cat would have actually been better off going to the shelter in this particular situation. I would have offered, but I have a cat up there. I don't know how well she would do with another female cat. Plus, I have the dog I'm training, and I have Oren. I have enough animals. I have more than enough animals. My poor husband would come home and there'd be 2 more cats. So there'd be 3 cats, 2 dogs, and that's just something we are unequipped to handle with right now because we're trying to deal with her, who actually starts her training on Thursday. So this week she's going to be looking at her normal behavior training, so we'll see how that goes. I'll see if I can film for you guys. I don't know if they're going to let us or if I can just film some of the things that she's doing, maybe set it up and just let it go. So we'll see. But anyways, that was my story time, and I hope that I don't meet this woman again, simply because it makes me a little uneasy, and it makes Haitta very uneasy. Every time this woman comes around now, she does recognize her, because when she did show up, her hair back here on her haunches, she was like sitting back on her haunches and her hocks were up, and she's still a puppy. She's only 4 months old, and for a puppy to have that instinct coming up, there's something that she feels that I'm also feeling, but probably that she also sees about the lady. Anyways, hope you enjoyed our story time. Maybe I'll hit you guys up again. Later.